Hey there, folks. Having a little bit of coffee and cake. Not very much cake, just a bite or two. And we're playing start number 29, right? Number 29 versus Miami in our deGrom replay. And I'll be looking at these are some of the results of his last few starts right here. I mean, he's dominated, he's won the last 4 games in a row, and he's pitched 2 complete games. So he's really stood out on the mound for sure. And his overall stats are very, very close to the real thing, other than the one loss record, which really there's no way of controlling that. So we're gonna join the action here in the top of the fourth. It's deGrom facing Real Muto, Anderson, and Dietrich. We're using payoff pitch. I really like this game. A lot of fun. And let's see where we are here with, okay, there he is. All right, and as you can see, I'm dropping dice on both sides. Try to avoid the shadows by angling this a little bit. So we're in the top of the fourth. Their score is 0-0. And we're going to be dropping dice every so often, and other times we're going to be pulling cards. So that's an 8 we look at off deGrom. That's tough. And we pull to this side. Let's see. And that's a 76 off tough, 76 down in the out section, and that's a fly ball center field. So 1 away. Next is going to be Brian Anderson, who against righties batted .280 with 8 home runs in 443 at bats. And that's a 6 off deGrom is tough. Go to this side, 35. That's a tough 35, and that's a strikeout. That's strikeout number 7 for deGrom. Next is Dietrich, Derek Dietrich. See what kind of pitch it is. It's an 8. That's a tough pitch. See what Dietrich can do with it. And a 39 under tough, and that's a swing and a miss, strike 3. So deGrom has 8 strikeouts here in the 4th inning. Has allowed a couple of hits, one to Anderson in the second and one to Ortega, the right fielder, leading off the leadoff batter in the 3rd. All right, so pitching is Jose Urena for the Marlins. Jose Urena, we're at Citi Field here in New York, Queens, New York. Todd Frazier, the batter, that's an 8, and that's a patient. Good opportunity for Frazier here. 78 off patient, 78. No, it's going to take him to the out section, and that's going to be a fly ball center field. 1 away. Next is Brandon Nimmo. Nimmo is 0 for 1. He flied out to right. And that's going to be a 10, which is an in play. In play 0-2, in play 0-2. That's going to be a double. We'll look exactly what that is. That's a deep drive off the left field wall. So Nimmo on at second with a double. Here's a scoring opportunity for the Mets. 8, patient. Dominic Smith, the left-handed batter, 49, patient 49. And that's going to take us into the out section, and that's a G5, 5-3. Runner's going to hold there. On that grounder to third, Anderson looks Nimmo back to the bag. Okay, we're going to pull some cards now, just to mix it up a bit. Roll an 11. An 11 is an in-play. Jackson, a right-handed batter, and that's an in-play 15. In-play 15 is going to be a single. It's going to be a line drive into center. Runners advance 2 bases. We're on second scores. So it's an RBI single for Austin Jackson. Austin Jackson was a late season acquisition for the Mets, who were hurting at center field. So single, RBI, and Nimmo comes around to score. Mets lead at 1-0. Kevin Plawecki now. I'm going to pull a card. That's a 6. A 6 is a tough. A 5, a tough 5 is going to be a strikeout for out number 3. And that is the first strikeout for Urena. But the Mets pick up a run here in the bottom of the 4th, and they lead at 1-0. Lewis Brinson. Let's flip the cards now for so we don't get distracted. Some guys leave both pitchers facing up, and that throws me off. This is to see what kind of pitch it is. It's an 8, so that's going to be a tough pitch. So let's see what Brinson can do with it. That's a 53, a tough pitch, 53 off a right-hander. That's a strikeout. Number 9, strikeout number 9 for deGrom. Out number 1. Miguel Rojas, a right-hander, up to the plate. That's a 4. It's a tough pitch. And it's a 70, a tough 70. Take us into the out range, and that's a ground ball. Chop to second, over to first. 2 out. That's a 10 off deGrom. That's tough. And a 91, a tough 91, takes us into the out range. It's a fly ball lifted to left. Under it is Conforto, out number 3. 3 up, 3 down. Here in the top of the 5th. We go to the bottom of the 5th now. It's going to be the Mets deGrom leading it off. That's a 5. Let's see where it is. Let's flip the starter. A 5 is tough. Tough 35. Strikeout. Reno with his second strikeout. Strikes out deGrom. Not really hard to do, thinking about it. Even though deGrom's a pretty decent pitcher. 7 in play, so Rosario has a chance here. 53 in play, 53. Nope. Takes us to the out, and that's popped up to the right side. First baseman Dietrich calling for it, and that's out number 2. Next is Jeff McNeil. McNeil versus right-handers batted .345 in 2018 in 168 at-bats. Not too shabby. That's a 10 in play. And puts the ball in play, 53, in play 53, and that's going to be a single. Gets the ball through the infield. So McNeil on at first. He's 1 for 3 on the day. So 2 outs, runner on first, and it's Conforto, the left-hander, versus Jose Urena. That's a 9, tough pitch. 34, and that's strike 3. Gets him with the curveball. So the Mets leave 1 on. And we go to the top of the 6th now. Top of the 6th is going to be Urena leading it off. And I have a tendency to kind of play a little bit old school when I play, so I let my pitchers bat maybe more than they would generally in the regular season, just because to avoid all the thumbing through cards and taking pinch hitters and that sort of thing. So I do, and I mean, Urena is cruising along pretty much. He's given up only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 hits in 5 innings. You know what? We're going to pinch hit, being that it's the and I have, you can't really see it on the score sheet, but I have all the actual players listed. Here, you can see it here if I move this over just a tad. all the actual players who played in this game are listed, so I can pull them kind of more or less in the order that they actually played to make this as historically accurate as possible. I'm looking for a guy named Sierra right now, thumbing through. You know, the great thing about Payoff Pitch is that it comes with like 35 cards per team and more, it seems. I mean, I have a handful of cards here. Guys who played only maybe 30 at bats are carded, which makes it real easy to play, you know, historical lineups. So I would recommend this kind of set. So I found Sierra, Magnaris Sierra. He had 21 at bats from the left side and 126 from the right side. Now you wouldn't see this guy carded in most other sets. So that's what I really like about Payoff Pitch. All right, so let's see. Magnarius Sierra is going to bat. He actually pinch hit. He was the first pinch hitter in this actual game. That was played, when was it played? September 11th, 9/11/2018. He's going to pinch hit in the top of the 6th. See what happens here with Sierra. That's going to be an 8 off deGrom. That's tough. It's going to be a tough pitch for Sierra to handle. It's going to be 36, and he strikes out. All that for naught. Next is going to be Ortega. Rafael Ortega, who's 1 for 2. It's a 9. That's going to be Patient. Patient 93. It's going to be into the out range, and that's a fly ball to right field. 2 outs. Next is Starlin Castro. That's a 7. It's an in play on deGrom's card. And that's a 0-7, 0-7. That's going to be a line shot that splits the gap in center field for a double. A double for Castro, 2-out double. So the tying run now here in the top of the 6th is standing at second base, and probably the Marlins' best hitter, JT Realmuto, batted .298 versus right-handers with 18 home runs, is at the plate. That's a 7. That's going to be in play. And an 84, an in-play 84 is going to take us to the out range, and that's going to be a ground ball to Rosario. Scoops it over to Smith, 6-3, and the deGrom and the Mets get out of the top of the 6th inning. All right, so let's see. We're going to bring in Rivera. Was the first reliever that came in this game. Let's see if we have Rivera here. I mean, sometimes you have to go to a separate little batch of cards, extra player cards, but a lot of times I find the same players in the extra player cards as I do in the regular set. So I don't know what's going on. All I know is they have a lot of cards. This is well worth it for sure. I bought 4 or 5 seasons already, planning on buying more. And I don't seem to see. Oh yeah, there he is. Yeah. Oh no. Actually, Rivera, from what I'm seeing, seems to be a batter. So Conley, I'm going to bring in Conley. And I just saw him somewhere here. So Conley's going to pitch. Hopefully we can get him to go 2 innings. I try to let the pitcher go 2 innings. It keeps me from having to... there you go. Adam Conley, a left-hander, is going to come in, replace Urena. Adam Conley, 4.09 ERA, 3-4 record. And he's going to be pitching to Frazier, Nimmo, and D. Smith. And that's a 4 off Conley. That's Patient. Go to this side now. And that's going to be an 86, it looks like. Patient 86 takes us to the out range, and that's going to be a ground ball to shortstop. Shortstop Rojas Over to Dietrich. Frazier's 0 for 3 now. Next is Nimmo, the lefty. Lefty versus lefty. I should have looked at the left side because it's a left-handed pitcher. So we're going to write in Conley, a lefty. And I'm going to start kind of drawing in the colors here. That's kind of the way I do it. I just kind of jump to the action. Sometimes when I'm broadcasting, I jump to the action a little quicker than I would normally do that. Nimmo, 4 off of Conley. That's patient. And a 75, a patient 75 is a walk. If you, Brandon Nimmo was one of the league leaders in on-base percentage. He was kind of hovering around 400 the whole season, sometimes a little bit over, sometimes a little bit under, but you can see that in the patient category, he's 100%. Either he walks, gets a hit, or he is going to be hit by a pitch. So let's see, his on-base percentage from the right side against right-handers, against right-handers was 425, 4. Against lefties, it was 351. So he's facing a lefty. All right, so Nimmo walks. And it's Dominic Smith, a lefty. And that's 10, patient. Actually, you know what? I misread. I keep on looking at the right side. I don't think it was a walk. Actually, I can't remember what number I rolled, but we're going to leave it as that. And it's going to be a 96. It was a 10, a patient, a 96 off Dominic Smith's card. Takes us to the out, and that's a fly ball right field. And next is going to be Jackson. And that's a 9. That's going to be tough off Conley's card. Tough pitch, 82. Tough pitch, 82. We go into the left side versus left-handed. 82 is going to take us into the out section. That's a fly ball center field. And we go to the top of the 7th now. Top of the 7th, deGrom is still in there. For the Mets, it's Brian Anderson going to be leading it off. Anderson is 1 for 2. He's singled and struck out. And that's a 9. That's going to be patient. So Anderson has patient at the plate, 34. Let's see if it pays off. And it does. It's a walk. So Anderson manages a leadoff walk here against deGrom. That's an 8, so that's going to be tough pitch. Let's see what Dietrich can do with a tough pitch. 75. 75 takes us to a ground ball. We rolled an 8. His DP, that's over his DP, so that's going to be 75. That's going to be a fielder's choice. 1 out. And Dietrich trades places with Anderson. Brinson now, that's a 7. That's going to be in play. A 93, an in play 93 is a fly ball lifted to left. Conforto there, 2 out. And Rojas next. So 5, that's tough. Tough pitch. 87, tough pitch 87. And that's a ground ball. Hit at the shortstop, Rosario, over to Smith. And we go to the bottom of the 7th. Now in the bottom of this, Conley's still pitching a lefty. You got to keep on reminding myself of that. Conley's still on the mound for the Marlins. He replaced Urena. It's a 1-0 game. Mets' only run came in the bottom of the 4th on a 1-out double by Nimmo, a 2-out single by Jackson, the center fielder, the Mets center fielder recently acquired. I think he played the last month with the Mets in center field. after Lagares suffered an injury, toe injury, hitting his foot against the center field wall. He seems to be injured every season. All right, it's going to be Austin Dean. I'm sorry. It's going to be Plawecki against Adam Conley. We're going to look at the left side. That's an 11 patient. That's a patient 47. That's going to be a walk. So Conley walks. Plawecki, we're going to go for a sacrifice bunt. deGrom is going to bunt. Going to look off to the left here. He's a C bunter. That's a 49, and that's going to be a successful bunt. Fielded by the pitcher over to first. One out, but over to second goes Plawecki. And we're going to see a pinch runner now. Pinch runner is going to be Reyes. Reyes will be able to score on a single. Pinch run is Reyes. Pinch runner is Reyes. Then it's going to be Mesoraco. It's going to come in to catch. So Reyes is running. He's at second base. Excuse me. And here's the pitch to Rosario. It's a 7. That's going to be a ballpark. Ballpark. Let's see what that is. A righty. Say 36. That's going to be in the wheelhouse versus a lefty. 1-12. It's out of here. This is going to be trouble for sure. And that ball is gone. Rosario gets a hold of one and takes it over the center field fence for a 3-0 lead now. 2-run home run. 1 for 4 for Rosario on the day. Adam Conley gives him a meatball that he smashes over the center field fence. It's 3-0 Met lead for deGrom here. It's a 3, and that's defense. We're going to see what that is. I'm going to pull a card. It's an 86. I'm sorry. We're going to look and see. It's an error 6, and we're going to see the number now. Error 6. We're going to look at 78. 78 are. Let me see. The shortstop is Rojas. He's a 5. We look under a 5. It was a 78. That's going to be an out. What kind of out is it? Going to look at the number 7 there. It's going to be a ground ball out. 6-3. 2 out now. And then Conforto. That's a 4. That's patient. Off Conley. And that's a 98. Patient 98. And that's going to be a fly ball to right field. Fly ball to right field. 2-run shot. By Rosario. Gives the Mets a 3-0 lead. We're in the top of the 8th. deGrom. New catcher for the Mets. It's going to be Mesoraco. Mesoraco. Mets catcher. All right, Plawecki's out. And it's going to be Dean leading it off. Austin Dean against deGrom. Dean batted .244 in 90 at bats against right-handers. So that's a 10. That's going to be tough. Tough pitch to Dean, 22. That's a strikeout. Strikeout number 11 for Jake. Out number 1. It's the pitcher spot now. We got another batter here. Let's look at, historically, it was Rivera. Yadiel Rivera who batted, and we're going to bring in Yadiel Rivera. Pinch hitter. In the top of the 8th inning against deGrom. Yadiel Rivera. That's a 7. So he puts the ball in play. Let's see what kind of in play that is. 49. In play 49. It's going to be a ground ball right pulled to the third baseman. That's Frazier over to first. 2 out now. And it's Rafael Ortega, the leadoff hitter, with 2 outs here on the top of the 8th. 9. That's going to be Patient. And that's a 46. 46. That's going to be a single. Ortega, his second hit of the game. Castro. Starlin Castro. So 4. That's tough. Tough pitch again. 27, and that's a strikeout. So that's strikeout number 12 for deGrom. And the Mets are coming to bat. That's out number 3. The Mets are coming to bat. They're going to bring Frazier, Nimmo, and Dominic Smith to bat. We're going to have a new pitcher for the Mets. I'm sorry, for the Marlins. And let's see who came in there. Let's see O'Brien, if he's a pitcher. O'Brien. Excuse me. Yep, Peter O'Brien. No, he's a batter. So the next one is going to be Steckenrider. I think I saw him in there somewhere. But maybe not. He may be one player. Oh, yeah, here he is. Drew Steckenrider. I told you they have everybody. Drew Steckenrider. 3.90 ERA, 4-4, and 54.2 innings pitched. Or is that 60 or 50? 64.2. So Steckenrider is going to come in and pitch for the Marlins. And we're going to color in what's happened so far. Conley kind of let down the Marlins. It's a 1-0 game until he gave up a 2-run homer to Ahmed Rosario. It's going to be Frazier Nimmo. Frazier Nimmo. Frazier Nimmo and Dominic Smith against Drew Steckenrider. All right, here goes. We're going to pull cards for this round. That's a 10 off Steckenrider. That's ballpark. So we're going to see what kind of ballpark it is here. Todd Frazier's a righty. And that is an 80, a righty. That's going to be in play. Takes us to the in play. 26 in play is a single. So that's his first hit. He's 1 for 4 now. Frazier on at first with a single. Now it's going to be 5. That's tough pitch. Let's see what Brandon, the left-hander, Brandon Nimmo can do with it. 0-4, he can do nothing with it. It's a strikeout. 1 down, Dominic Smith, another lefty. It's an 8, tough. That's a 22. A tough 22 is a strikeout. Strikeout again. And Austin Jackson. 4, that's patient. 0-1, that's a walk. Ball 4, so runners on first and second here. And it's going to be Mesoraco. Mesoraco's going to bat against Steckenrider. That's a 3, patient. and it's a 25. A patient 25 is a walk. So back-to-back walks by Steckenrider. Bases are loaded for deGrom, and deGrom is going to stay in there. He's going to bat 8. That's tough. A tough 23, and that's going to be a strikeout. So Steckenrider strikes out the side despite loading the bases. And we go to the top of the 9th inning. It's going to be deGrom facing Realmuto, Anderson, and Dietrich, the heart of the lineup. It's 3-0 Mets. So let's see. Here goes JT Realmuto. 7. And that's going to be an in play. And that's a 33. In play 33 is a single. Realmuto singles. And that's going to be a 9. Patient 21, and that's a walk. And that's going to be it for deGrom. deGrom gets pulled. deGrom gets pulled for Familia. Oh, Familia's not even on this team. It's going to be Gazelman. Familia was on this team, but he was traded. So what we have at the end of the year is Gazelman as the Mets closer. So we're going to bring in Gazelman. Robert Gazelman is going to take the mound with runners on first and second here in the top of. We're going to make Gazelman orange. So we know exactly where he comes in. Gazelman. And deGrom goes 8. Okay. So let's see what happens here. Dietrich with runs on first and second. The Marlins have a chance to tie this up. And that's going to be a 4 off Gazelman. That's tough. Tough pitch. 74. Tough 74 takes us into the out range. That's going to be a ground ball. And that may become a double play. And it is going to be a double play. It's a 6-4-3 double play. And Realmuto goes to third. 2 out now. And it's Lewis Brinson. And that's a 12. That's wheelhouse for Brinson against a right-hander. 1-37 is a 2-run shot. And that's an 84. It's going to take us into the out range. And that's going to be a ground ball to shortstop. Game over. So Gazelman picks up a save. deGrom picks up a win. deGrom went 8 innings, gave up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 hits. Let's see how many he walked. Walked 1, walked 2, and struck out 12. Walked 2, struck out 12, but he pitched a shutout. And it was Gazelman who came in and picked up a save. And that's all she wrote. Thanks for watching. Take care. Payoff pitch.